Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of First Impressions on the Scratch the Track podcast presented by the Dude and Grim Show and co-produced by Mr. IVEST. I am the Dude.
And I am Grim, and we are going to give our first initial impressions of... I don't even know if I'd say the long-awaited, because it's like before you know it, another one comes out. But this is Omnium Gatherum by none other than King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What he said.
20th studio album. 20th, dude.
20th?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's
I know.
insane. And you know what? I think a lot of people would say, like, oh, yeah, you know, a band that has 20 albums out, like...
Studio albums.
Studio albums.
That's not even counting Chunky Shrapnel. I mean...
Not even.
You know?
Dude, there's also a lot of live stuff that either is bootlegs or...
I know that's Chunky Shrapnel.
Releases. Okay.
I believe it's a live one. Correct me if I'm wrong, fans. And while you're at it, go ahead if you would. And
like, subscribe, and comment below. Yes. So, Grim, we've done a handful of King Gizzard albums on this podcast. We've done some first impressions of KG, LW, Butterfly 3000, Butterfly 3001.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've done full scratches of Polygon Dwandaland, as well as Nonagon Infinity. I think those are the only two full scratches we've done. And dude, they just keep coming up with albums. They're the band that we've probably done the most work with and talked about the most.
I don't want to sound cliche, but for my money, they are the most interesting band of this time period. I really think so. I think when it's all written down and people look back, they're going to be like, that was a really incredible band. Like they did something that no other band had done, and they put out all this music. And say what you will about going stylistically kind of fluidly between a lot of different things. I wouldn't say any of it is just filler.
No,
I don't think so.
It's all just really, even if it's not amazing earth-shattering stuff, like, dude, it's solid.
Oh yeah, you would listen to it. Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think they're second in my vinyl collection, only to the Beatles.
Wow,
Dr. John's a close third, but
well, I think one of the things with them too is, you know, with most bands that you get into, at least, you know, if you don't get into them in the beginning, you know, maybe they've had like 3 or 4 albums. You listen to them, and then you can go back and have their back catalog.
Yeah, sure.
Like, first of all, here, King Gizzard has a huge back catalog if you're just getting into them now. But
we need to do a where would I start on them, because I don't even know. I got to think about it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But most bands at a good pace are only putting out an album maybe every 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a solid pace right there. If you're coming out with an album every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I guess getting into this one, you know, Made in Timeland had come out, you know, they had Butterfly 3001, then Made in Timeland, and then there was this. And, you know, when I heard that, I mean, this is 16 tracks, and the first track is over 18 minutes. I mean, there is just a wealth of content, and not only a wealth of content, but a variety of all these genres that they're getting to. And they're taking some, I guess what I would say, some chances. Some, you know, they're taking some risks.
And there's some things they touched on before, but some of it is different. I mean, you can argue that with Infest the Rat's Nest, they already proved that they can play metal. So that pretty much covers Gaia and Predator X. But like some of the other stuff is in a way similar to things they've done, but I mean, they just touched on rap at the end of
Made in Timeland,
which has quickly become one of my favorites of theirs.
Still waiting for my copy.
And dude, they kept it going on this one and just brought it to the next level. Like I love the way they do rap. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think before this album came out, and I believe it was a quote from Stu, and he said something, and when I read it, first of all, you always got to be careful comparing yourselves to some bands. And I think he made some sort of, you know, allusion that this was
offhanded comment.
kind of their White Album. And it's like, whoa, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But you know,
the cover's a little more like kind of a different tones
white.
of like tan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more khaki.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and salmon.
I think what he probably really meant like that was that
it's all over the place.
We're going to throw everything at this. And just like the Beatles did with the White Album, it was all over the place. Same with this. So that's where that connection kind of.
Well, and that makes sense to me. I wasn't expecting to hear their version of the continuing saga of Bungalow Bill. But I see the point of like, it just kind of goes everywhere. And it's interesting because I didn't know that this was coming out. And then friend of the show, Stro, sent me a text randomly one day. He's like, dude, have you heard the new King Giz? It's a monster. It's an 18-minute song. It's the first one off their next album. And I was like, wow, that's a bold statement. Just leading it off with an 18-minute single.
I was trying to think of another album that starts off with a song of that length. I mean, obviously, when you get up there,
I was going to say Bitches Brew.
Long,
Pharaoh's Dance is, I think, a little over 20 minutes. So that's like the only realistic comparison.
But when you're thinking in the modern sort of what you call the modern rock genre.
Well, and even modern day with so many people just being like, it's like the whole singles thing has come around again. Just like we say in our intro, we live in an era of singles.
Absolutely.
So they were like, we'll just put out a single that's, almost the side of a record.
Yeah. Well, and I think what's interesting too is I don't know how they came up with the track listing. If they just like cut up the track names, threw them in a hat, and we're like, okay, this one, this one, this one, this one. It is kind of like the order because we're used to
something
and
flowing,
things,
right? Yeah,
the way they flow. This doesn't have that necessarily, and especially the way they jump between genres. Like I think there's kind of like this 4-track run, 4 tracks in a row that kind of go, and that's what really stood out to me. And it's I think it's the Grim Reaper, which is like a rap song, right? And then what's after that? Is it Presumptuous, which is like this poppy kind of soul song. It has a flute playing in it that would make Ian Anderson proud. Then you go into metal with Predator X, right? And then after that, there's and then after that, it's Red Smoke, which might be my favorite song in the album, dude. There's a keyboard run in that. Dude, it reminds me so much of Riders on the Storm. Yeah. Eric. Oh my gosh.
See, I feel like Red Smoke, Candles, and The Funeral kind of really, those three really go nicely together at the end and make for a good end. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard to really get like a run of songs in a consistent sort of bit before it jumps to something else. And that's what's interesting about it. Like, I don't know. I wanted to talk, if you will indulge me, about the Dripping Tap. The Dripping Tap has got a lot of just in-your-face guitars, really ripping it. And
grip it and rip it.
And I'm saying this in the nicest possible way because, like I said, King Giz is like my favorite band of this time period. So it's a no-way insult. It's just comparing what they're doing with the guitar work. So if this album is their White Album, the guitar solos on the Dripping Tap are their Freebird.
Okay.
I come on though, am I right? Like the harmonies doing the same things, and I mean there are similarities there. You have to admit.
Yeah. No, I'll give it to you. Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I think initially I was just shocked when first I heard. I don't know if I read it on Instagram or Reddit or wherever it was, but it was like, oh yeah, the Dripping Tap, the first track is going to be 18 minutes. I was like, wow.
Now, dude, the Dripping Tap, by the way, I like infinitely better than Freebird. Just to clear that up for anybody before we get an absolute shitstorm of like hate mail. But
I mean, dude, we'll probably get 5 comments below.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah,
maybe 6 if you do it.
Like, subscribe, and
you can really say anything you want.
Yeah,
I think you should just say it just so it's a hot take. I mean,
yeah.
So now I guess overall, I've listened to this, I don't know, probably 10 to 15 times. Sometimes I'll, since it doesn't flow in kind of that order, I will start it at certain spots or certain sections and things like that. And I've really enjoyed it. And not that I didn't enjoy like KG and LW, but I think one thing I do like about this is the variety is that it does change up so much, which is something, we don't see from them as much. Because now you're obviously Made in Timeland. I know you're wearing the groups thin on your vinyl there.
Yes.
Where are you ranking
this?
Sort of this one? Yeah.
Didn't expect that one, dude. That was
just with King Gizzard, not all time.
Yeah. To be clear.
Is it the best album this week?
No, not in my top 5 for them.
Okay.
But I do. Okay. I mean,
okay.
I did definitely pre-order the vinyl after having only listened to like 1 or 2 tracks, because I usually just am going to be interested enough in what they're doing that I would like to have it. And I know I'm going to wear the grooves thin on Predator X. No question.
Yeah.
Sadie Sorceress. Oh, another high point for me. Now, one thing I liked is you shared a video that they posted on YouTube, and it was about like them recording this album. And I really liked that there was a specific run of time where it was basically just Stu McKenzie doing the woos, because dude, I don't think you can name a King Giz album that is not on. I think somehow they incorporated into every one, and I'd like to look that up. And if anyone knows, please comment below on that, because
I bet if there's an album it's not on, they probably like play it backwards.
Yeah.
So it sounds kind of messed up. Yeah. It is cool to have that as a signature.
But I just like seeing some of that fly on the wall footage of them just working on it and like what their process is, because I'm always really impressed with their recordings and the quality of their recordings. And so I'm interested to see how they're doing it, because another band, there's some other bands that come to mind when I say that, and I've seen stuff of them on YouTube. One of them is Wolfpack, and like, dude, they're just like recording this stuff in a basement, but they got it sectioned off, and the end result is just fantastic. And I'm wondering kind of how akin to that sort of mentality, DIY mentality, this is.
Well, it's pretty cool now. I mean, just with the technology and people's abilities to, it's accessible.
Yeah, it is.
The talent, you don't even need the talent. You just need the tools.
Yeah.
And, you can record anything.
Yeah.
You got the tools, get the talent. But yeah, seeing their creative process is very cool. Also, just that whole behind the scenes look, and just into how they're doing it. And I hope they come out with more stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do like the fly on the wall stuff, but it's I also
nice
like,
to have sort of a guided documentary sometimes, right?
A little bit, because we get into, we've seen some of like the Making the Dark Side of the Moon and some of those documentaries. Really nice
you want to see them separate the tracks.
The interview, and doing the sliders and mixing and all that. So, anyways, I mean, dude, I think that covers most of what I wanted to talk about. I definitely put it up there is one of their top 20 albums. I'll say that, right?
I would even go so far as to say top 10.
Woo. Yeah,
probably. Woo. Okay, so at this time, doing a initial first impression, do you initially have a track that is your favorite? Yeah,
I think for me it was Red Smoke. Like I said, that run of 4 of the Grim Reaper, Presumptuous, Predator X, and Red Smoke, I really like that 4. But dude, I love the keys and how they sound in Red Smoke. Again, like I said, it really just reminded me of Manzarek and how he played on Riders on the Storm.
Yeah, okay.
I dig that. I really felt that.
That is also up there for me. For some reason, one that's always really I've gravitated toward is Kepler 22B. I do like that one. I like the rap stuff. I don't know if I'd put it as like the favorite, which is funny because when it comes in on Made in Timeland, that is easily my favorite part of that record. And it's like 2 minutes at the end of it. But it was such a
really good.
Yeah, I know, but it was like such a tease then, and so now they kind of bring it into these songs, and I really like the songs, but Kepler 22b, man,
Kepler 22b,
that's the place for me.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, I think that about wraps up our first initial impressions of Omnium Gatherum by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. Like I said, we have a bunch of previous episodes where we've given our first impressions. We've done some full album scratches. I think we should do another scratch of a full King Gizzard album.
Yeah.
And maybe we should let the fans let us know what they think we should scratch. I mean, we got a lot to choose from. I will say that.
I'm in that. So, yeah, if you want to, let us know what should be the next King Gizzard.
Like, subscribe, and comment below.
All right. Everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I think it's time to go.
Scratch the Track is produced by the Dude Grim. Additional music provided by More. That's ... MORE. And the Tims, TIMNZ. Copyright 2020 to The Dude and Grim Show.